Mortal Kombat leaks are back and they are better than ever. Well, that's kind of a lie because Mortal Kombat leaks never went away to begin with. I don't know what it is with NRS games and leaks, but they are almost always true. Almost. Sometimes the leaks are super duper fake, and in this case they most likely are. However, there is something I found that is interesting about all these leaks. The fact that Sektor pops up in almost every single one of them. I believe that's because his name was found in the game's files in the same place where playable characters are, which caused a lot of quote-unquote leakers to include him in all of these lists, to make them seem more legit than they actually are. Obviously, if you ask me, I'm biased. Sektor's my favorite Mortal Kombat character, so I would love to believe the leaks are true, but I don't see it. I don't see Sektor making it into the game over characters like Cyrex or Smoke or many other characters. It would make me extremely happy, obviously, but I'm just skeptical about it. However, this does open a good discussion. Not about Sektor, although I wouldn't have an issue discussing Sektor 24 hours straight. I feel the discussion should be, will there actually be another combat pack? And if there is another combat pack, who will be in it? Or at least how many characters will be in it? To answer the first question, we have to look at past NRS games and try to find a pattern. Mortal Kombat 9 was their first game after they formed the new studio, NRS. It had 4 DLC characters. Then came Injustice Gods Among Us. It had 6 DLC characters. Then we have the incredible Mortal Kombat X. That game had 8 DLC characters, not counting Goro of course. With Goro there are 9 DLC characters. Then we took a detour for Injustice 2. That game also had the same amount of DLC characters. 8 DLC characters, not counting the pre-order Darkseid. With Darkseid, obviously 9 DLC characters, same as Mortal Kombat X. So Mortal Kombat X and Injustice 2 had the same amount of DLC characters. 2 combat packs, 4 characters each, and a pre-order character. Now we get to Mortal Kombat 11. In this game we got a single combat pack with 6 DLC characters, which is more than any other combat pack we got previously. And a pre-order character like Darkseid and Goro, which was Shao Kahn, making all in all 7 DLC characters. However, we got another batch of DLC characters after a year in the Mortal Kombat Aftermath expansion pack. And it's important to note that they chose to call it expansion pack. It means that this is not their complete edition of the game, meaning there is more to come. You see, every time NRS is done with a game, they release a complete edition of that game. This has always been the case since Mortal Kombat 9, their first game. Once they are no longer going to support a game or add more content to it, they finish it with a complete edition that includes every single DLC content they've had during the game's lifespan. But we have not gotten that yet. We've only gotten an expansion. Couple that with the fact that NRS has added more and more DLC characters with each entry, excluding Mortal Kombat X and Injustice 2 I guess, but they've had the same amount of DLC characters. Now this is the only odd one because Mortal Kombat X and Injustice 2 have the same amount of DLC characters. But Mortal Kombat 11 already has more DLC characters. So I doubt they'll actually just settle for 10, like they'll settle for 1 extra DLC character. Instead they will add more DLC characters. You can clearly see a pattern where every new game they've made, they've either had the same amount of DLC characters or more. And whenever they have more, they don't just add 1 more DLC character, they actually add almost double the amount that they had previously. As of the time I'm making this video, the game has 10 DLC characters including Shao Kahn, which means they already surpassed their previous game's DLC, which would mean it would be the end of the support for this game. That would be the case, if not for what I just mentioned, which is the fact that they have yet to release a complete edition of the game. You might be thinking to yourself, the complete edition could just be the game plus Aftermath expansion, but they are already selling that and it's not called the complete edition, it's called the Aftermath collection. So this leads me to believe more DLC characters are on the way. Only question is, how many DLC characters and who are those DLC characters? Here is where the leaks come in, and the leaks state that there will be 6 DLC characters and 3 to 4 skin packs. They're not clear on that. The skin packs seem to be different from leak to leak, but the DLC characters seem to somewhat be consistent. Again, these DLC characters, while consistent, they are actually names that pop up in the game's files. So the quote-unquote leakers could just be basing them off what the data miners found in the game's files. Sektor, which would complete Mortal Kombat 11 for me since the game is already the best Mortal Kombat game, adding Sektor to the roster would be the cherry on top of this Mortal Kombat cake. Other characters vary from leak to leak, but all leaks seem to have the same structure of 2 guest characters and 4 Mortal Kombat characters, which is odd since the first combat pack had 3 guest characters and 3 Mortal Kombat characters, as did Mortal Kombat X combat packs. They always had a balance of guests and Mortal Kombat characters. This time it's asymmetrical for some reason, which makes me believe that the leaks are untrue because If NRS is to add DLC characters, they would definitely have a balance of guests and Mortal Kombat characters. So if the DLC characters are actually 6 DLC characters, then there will be 3 guests and 3 Mortal Kombat characters. I highly doubt it'll be asymmetrical with more Mortal Kombat characters than guest characters, especially because guest characters sell a lot. Characters like Mileena and Takeda also pop up in almost every leak, but again, they could just be poaching off each other. Guests like Micheal Myers and Harley Quinn also show up. I could see Micheal Myers being in this game, but Harley Quinn seems like an odd choice. Not that she can't possibly make it, but it seems very odd to include her in an MK game, considering the fact that she'll be killed in so many gruesome ways. But hey, they've had the Joker, so maybe they'll have her? Although I feel the Joker's situation is kinda different. However, Ash Williams from The Evil Dead surprisingly enough has not popped up in any of the leaks, which is extremely odd since I would have thought he'd be the first on the list. It's very odd to me. I think he, of any guest character, would have the highest likelihood of being included, yet he is absent from these leaked lists. What do you guys think about these leaks? Are they legit? Do you think there will be more DLC characters? If so, how many and who? Leave your list of characters that you want to see or the list of characters you think will make it down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, stay awesome.